Hi
Hello,
everyone, how are you doing? Hello from Team Vinny.
how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. Just back from the gym, feeling good. It feels so good to be back on a Vincere webinar.
Back in that t-shirt?
Absolutely, repping that t-shirt. Hi guys, thanks for joining. We'll wait a couple of minutes just to make sure you can come in. You can see us okay. You can see us waving at you. You can hear us okay, and you're feeling good. Thanks for joining today's session. So we're going to run through what's new with Vinny. So we're going to go through a 6 month recap of various new features we've released, and also a roadmap. You can tell I'm not on a webinar. I don't want to.
Dust the cobwebs off, come on.
Absolutely. Roadmap sneak peek, and we've got some really exciting things. So make sure you stay till the end of this session. Um, just while we kind of wait for a few minutes, guys, just to do introductions. So Amy, over to you to introduce yourself first.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Hopefully, most of you know me already. I've been here for 100 years. My name's Amy. I'm part of the customer success team. And so I mainly work with our customers to make sure that they are getting the most out of the system. And so optimization and, making sure that ROI is coming in. So lovely to see you all again.
Absolutely. Amy is the OG of all things Vinny. So you're in safe hands. Just to introduce myself, hopefully you might know me, you might not know me. I've also been here 100 years, minus 1 year, slight career break for a year or so, and very much back at Team Vinny, based in a product role. So my previous experience here was very much customer success, similar to Amy, but now I'm based in a product role, so really working closely with our customers, understanding use cases, understanding your needs, kind of understanding your use cases from a customer success perspective, and then kind of helping to build that inside the product team. So very excited to be back to with
Got
Amy
the
on
gang
Team
back
Vinny.
together.
Absolutely. Um, Guys, I think everyone's probably in now. I've got quite a lot of people in the session, so I think should we crack on, Amy? Should we get started?
Let's do it. Let's do it. We've got a lot to get through. We don't want to spend more than we need to, half an hour, I would say,
Yeah,
of your
yeah,
time. So let's crack on.
perfect. So, guys, we're just going to do a few slide decks, and then we're going to jump right into Vincere. Don't worry, it will not be death by PowerPoint. We're literally going to spend a few minutes on these slides. But essentially, in terms of Vincere, it's evolved so much over the last 5, 6, 7 years, right? And there's so many parts of the platform now. We're going to spend all of our time today in the core part of the platform. So all the features we've released over the past 6 months in the core platform, and we'll do separate webinars in the future on the various elements of the platform in here. Just in terms of some stats for you, so 2023 so far, so October, November to date, and we've actually released 167 new features, and 70% of those are all from you guys. So that is genuine customer feedback directed to us. I don't know if I'm allowed to share this chart that I pulled off from a product we're using earlier today, but this is you can see. So we've released so many new features, and in green, that's customer requests. So that's actual features that you're giving us. So hopefully you're starting to notice that we are moving less towards big bang features, and it's more, refinements, making it less clicky, making it more intuitive, making Vincere a product you want to use and you love to use. So I thought I'd just put that little stat in there. In terms of the first part of today's session, we're going to go through what's new with Vinny. So we're going to go through a 6 month recap. This slide is deliberately busy just to show you how many things we have released in the platform. Remember, this is just in the core platform over the past few months. Amy, are there any kind of standout ones in here that you'd want to highlight?
I guess for me, the main one that has got the biggest impact is the application chevron. It's been asked for since probably day one that I've been with Vincere, and it finally got released this year. So I've got a lot of happy customers that has really improved their workflow, and it's the most noticeable because people live in the pipeline. So applications was a massive win globally for us. And then, little things like compliance management, those little things that are going to reduce clicks and make your back office team's life a lot easier. They're squirreling away doing admin and whatever we can do to streamline their processes, which is going to, save your consultants a lot of time and reduce that risk when it comes to compliance and onboarding. Those are little impact, big wins. So those are the two things that have been very excitedly rolled out for my customers.
100%, 100%. I think from my side, a lot of it is, and we'll show this today, guys, don't worry, but it's really to do with the major upgrades to CRM. So we've completely overhauled how you use contacts and companies in Vincere. It's easy to use, it's intuitive, it's fresh, and it loads super, super fast. And it's also fully configurable. So you can actually completely configure and brand that part of Vincere for your business. Again, that'll be coming, and we'll discuss this later on for the rest of the platform for candidates. But that's probably one of my favorites. So that's the real big win for me.
That's what I would say is all the stuff that we've been doing that you can't see, but you get the benefit of. So the speed, the tech that we've improved on, all of that is going to make your life easier. And it's not something that is visible in the system, but you can feel it. And hopefully throughout the system, what we're showing you today, the reduction of clicks, the streamline of efficiencies, the workflows, the outcomes are going to get you absolutely buzzing for the next 6 to 12 months.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right, I think enough of the slides. I'm done with the slides now. Let's jump into Vinny, shall we? So what we'll do, we'll go inside the Vincere. What we're going to start off on, guys, is we're just going to spend 5 minutes or so looking at the CRM. So I'm going to go to the sidebar menu. I'm going to go to the blue companies logo here, and I'm going to find one of my key accounts. So what I've done, I've come into my status column, I filtered here by key account, and then we're looking at Balfour here. Okay. What you'll notice now, I can go into the quick view, and this is completely brand new. So just also notice how speedy that opened, right? So if I just move my face out of the way and close this again, that now opens up super, super speedy. And we've completely redesigned how this looks, okay? So right now we are looking at the quick view, but if actually you want to see more information on this screen, you want to see maybe the summary, you want to see activities at the same time, you can go to the top right-hand corner and you can press this full view pop out. And now we're in the long view. So remember how long it used to take for the long view to open prior to the update? It used to take, 5, 6, 7 seconds, whereas now that opens super, super speedy. And I can now build this view to what I care about. So on the left-hand side, I've got all my key information here. I've got compliance, I've got departments, groups, locations. Remember, this is fully configurable by yourselves, and we'll show you how to do that in a second. I can also see on the right-hand side all of my dynamic data. So contacts at the company, activities that are happening in the company, any relevant emails, files, job stats, and document checks, all in one place, okay? If I'm on the activities tab right now, and actually I want a longer view, as it were, I can press this one, and now I've got the full screen. So now I can scroll up, and I've got all of the information, in one click at my fingertips, which is a really, really useful feature. Just while we're kind of in activities here, one feature that is actually really good, but a lot of customers haven't necessarily seen this feature, is if you want to expand activities. So if I've got a lot of activities now at Balfour and I want to go through them quickly, what a lot of customers might be doing is going into the quick view and then maybe kind of using the scroll bar and looking like so, which is good if you want a lot of information on one screen. There might be a lot of notes there. You might want to see what it's linked to. However, if you actually want to see it quickly, this little button here, the top or middle right-hand corner rather, left click, and now all the summaries expand for you automatically. So again, it's such a small feature, but big impact. So it makes my life easier now as a consultant to actually see things quickly. And maybe this note here, I want to see that in more detail. Then I can click through and I can read it in more detail. And then I can go up or down, or I can press the X to go back. So that's a really handy feature. And you can show all, or you can expand all as well. Amy, did you know that existed? I only found out last week.
I did. It's one of those hidden in plain sight buttons that once you realize it's there, it's just going to make life easier. And I work off of 2 screens. I've got a small laptop screen and a big desktop screen. So depending on which one I'm on is which view I'm looking at and how much data that you want to see. So it's one of those that you're going to figure out what works best for you, but being able just to scroll and see all of the data without those multiple clicks. Again, we've reduced quite a few clicks for you there, and just with that one button. So it's going to be really great, and just find out what works for you, and you're gonna love it. Really, you've got all of the information that you need, which comes on nicely onto the custom columns and the views there as well, with the rest of the kind of configurability of the activities.
Absolutely. So one of my favorite, I say one, it's probably 3 of my favorite parts, or
how many favorites can you have?
System. I literally don't know. The whole of Vinny, basically. No, but what I like about here, compared to the previous activities window in Vincere, it wasn't very filterable. You couldn't really filter things properly, and it just wasn't that user friendly. It was just a wall of text. Whereas in here now, what you can do, as Amy said, you've got your smart views. So you can come in here, you can toggle on all the various columns you want. So contact, candidate, job, category, due date, anything that's important for you to see quickly, you can toggle it on. And then when you've toggled it on, so let's just say contact, for example, that will then be added to the end, and we can drag it. So we can move it right across here. So let's just stick it in there. And then when we've got our desired view and we're happy, just go to our smart views and save as Matt's view 2, for example. And that will now stay sticky forever until I go and make a change. That's how it will load. So again, I can quickly see all the information here, in a few clicks. You can also filter, and again, these filters are really, really thorough. So for example, you can filter by system activity, so placements, renewals, updates, comments, tasks. But if you just want to see the actual notes written by a person, by a consultant or a colleague, what you can do, if I just deselect all, I go into comment, I go in the drop down, and I just choose note. So a note refers to an actual person's written a note here. I filter, and now you can see we've removed all of the system generated activity, all of the noise, as it were. And now I can just see actual notes that have been written by my colleagues, for example. So that's quite a useful tip as well. And then the third kind of favorite part of this, which I've left to last, is pinning activities.
I would add one in before you go to pinning. But before, just because again, this is something that gets overlooked, and it's with those notes and being able to search your notes, is the keyword search in the search activities by summary. That is just so powerful. A lot of my customers are having the same conversations with the same people about the same jobs with the same contacts. So using those filters is really hard to find what you're looking for. But if you know that you spoke to someone that's going on holiday to Tenerife, you can just search the keyword Tenerife and it will bring up that activity. So being able to find the data now is so much easier, user-friendly for your consultants to be able to do that. Whereas before you'd only really search on columns. Now you can search on keyword, which does sometimes get overlooked.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have Tenerife in here, but I do have the M25. So I've
for anyone not quite so glamorous.
It's a motorway. It's a motorway in the UK, a horrible motorway, but that's what we searched for. Although it is construction services, so it is on point. But you are right. I actually forgot about the keyword search. I'm glad you're here with me as the co-host, Amy.
Keeping you accountable.
Absolutely. But again, that's what we want to get across, guys, during this session is some things you can miss. There's so many updates we're doing, and sometimes like that is a lifesaver, and that will save you so much time. If you miss it, you miss it, right? So sometimes you don't know what you don't know. Just to finish up in this section of the platform. So pinning activity. So if there is a particular activity that you found with the keyword search, like I mentioned, and you want to pin it, all you've got to do is just literally pin it. Literally like you've got a pin, and you just left click it, and then that goes up to the pinned activities part of Vincere. And you can quickly see here, there's 3 pinned activities for this company. There's a note from me, there's a note from James, there's a note from Shannon. And again, if we need to click through to it, we can. So we can go and see that really, really quickly. Again, the benefit of that, right? Well, currently we're at the long view. It's also visible on the quick view, remember. So if I go into the quick view here, I can see those pinned activities from this view, and I can click through to them if I need. So again, it's all about speed, and it should make the life a lot faster inside Vinny. Amy, anything else to add from kind of a front-end UI perspective from this view?
All I would say is it's been a big change. So really take a think about what information you need to see at a quick view level, because you can decide which section of the contact or the company record opens up first, the hierarchy of the data. So what you see now is the system default. Again, it's pretty good. Keep it as it is and it works fine. But if you want to elevate your experience, think about the data that's important, including custom columns, custom fields, and move them to where you need them for ease of use. So have a look. Think about the data or the fields that you're always going to or always searching for, and just move them into a tab that makes the most sense for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll show you how to configure that in a second. I actually just remembered one more thing that I've just spotted as I've been clicking through there, which again is a tiny feature, but it's an absolute time saver if you're using Vincere throughout the day. It's the ability to copy phone numbers. Look at that little feature right there. So now what I can do, if I'm on a list and I've got loads of contacts, for example, I search for Ben in here, What I can do is I can just literally don't click it, just hover over it, and that will appear. And now I can put that into a click, my phone or click to dial, whatever it may be. Again, it's what you only know what you know, so it's hidden unless you hover over it. But that again was a feature request from a lot of customers actually over the years, so now it's in there. So make sure you start using it. Cool. What we'll do, guys, most of you hopefully already know how to build and configure the quick view, and the long view, but we'll just show you where to go. So all you do, dead easy, you go into settings, bottom left hand corner, and you go into field configuration. And then this here, do we break Vincere these? The top left hand corner, we've got candidates, jobs, contacts, companies, and placements. Again, all of Vincere can be configured. And then all you need to do is go into contact fields, which is where, as Amy mentioned, that's where you create custom fields. That's where you define what you want, what information you want to show on a contact's profile. If I just show you while we're in here, if, for example, I've added priority, go to the pencil. And again, you can make that a custom column as well. So that will appear in the tables. And then in terms of where to place this on a profile to really build the look and feel of contacts, go back to this drop-down menu, go into contact summary. And then this is now the back end of the front end, if that makes sense. So this is what we were looking at a second ago. And there's those various briefs. So this is where you can come through. We're actually on company a second ago, so I'll show you that because that'll be more relevant. Company summary. There you go, information, compliance, departments, and again, you can add all your fields in here. It's literally drag and drop. So you just pick it up, drag it in there. You can move them around. You can change the names here. You can literally configure this for your entire company. There's no Vincere out of the box right now. This is customized, configurable for you guys. It's a really, really nice feature actually. So if you haven't already looked at this, that's definitely something to do. Action point at the end of the call.
Yeah, and just in the top right, the reorder tab. So if you're always going to compliance as the first option, you can just reorder the tabs and the compliance, move it in front of, on top of information, and that'll be the first one that opens. So you've got a lot of configuration options here, but just don't forget the two-step process, create the field, and then go in and add the field in where you need it.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really simple. Guys, any questions, by the way? We forgot to mention this at the start. Please let us know in the chat. So we have got a team of moderators on the call with us as well. So if there's any burning questions, stick them in the chat and one of the team will come back to you. And hopefully you found that a bit useful. Amy, what should we go on to next? Should we go into custom columns in the table views?
Yes. So in the ATS and the CRM, we've made some updates. Now, a lot of you might know that this has already happened, but for those of you that don't, it's always good to have a slight refresher. As Matt just showed you, when you're creating a field inside the system, you can tick that box, which is enable custom column, and whether that's a candidate or a contact. And then what you can do is now enhance your views within the pipeline as well. So if you're just going to refresh and show that button there. So yeah, edit the field. Once you've created it, enable that icon there and hit save. So this is really great for that custom information that you want to capture against a candidate or a contact and then easily search on it without having to go and do a Boolean string. So those custom columns will jump into your column view here and they'll go down on the treble. Did you just watch the Beckham documentary?
Amy, you're complete wrong team. Man City, I've got Erling Haaland in here.
Oh, don't know. Talking to the wrong person here. I'm like, football. But yeah, it will jump to the bottom and then you can add it in and run, those filters and those searches on those particular custom fields as well. So it's going to make your life a lot easier. We know that every business is looking for and capturing different data. So we want to give you the ability to search for it as easily as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, as well with this feature, don't underestimate the power of this feature. This is very, very unusual with an out-of-the-box solution like Vincere to allow you to create custom fields and have them visible in a table view like so. Obviously, we're being silly here, won the treble, yes, but this actually, the power of this particular field allows you to essentially view all the data, as Amy mentioned, search by it, filter by it, and that can be used for anything, right? Like use cases, you'll know better than me, Amy. What are some use cases? Maybe like compliance, pre-reg?
Right, hierarchy, visas, financial issues, anything like that. you know, hierarchy of candidates. Like, are they always going to be calling in sick? Are they unreliable, or have they always got good feedback? Whatever you want, really, the opportunities are endless, but those tend to be the main things that they want to, and that my clients want to search across easily.
Absolutely, absolutely. And guys, remember when you've
So
got those custom columns, you've also got your smart views. So make sure you go and build your views based on your custom columns. You don't have to do it every single time. Smart views, again, are a really key functionality or key part of Vincere. So just make sure you've got some set up with your custom columns.
yeah, absolutely. And I guess while we're here, nice segue into the next chevron, which is the
Yes,
new
finally. How
shiny one.
long have customers wanted this chevron for? 100 years.
A long time. You've been very patient. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, guys, this just shows how much we do listen to customer feedback and value it. And this was a big change with Vincere, right? I think a brand new chevron. It seems like it's really easy. It's a lot of work went into this, but essentially now this allows you to have somewhere separate to an application. I.e., this is like your long list essentially, right? Previously, we had the short list, and then you had to have a substatus and call it long list, and then actually your sent was your short list, and it all got a bit. It all got.
We were all a bit off kilter. Just
yeah.
one step too few.
Yeah, but this is essentially just where a candidate is sitting and they've applied for a role. We're not progressing them yet. We're deciding what to do, right? So they've not been shortlisted, they've not been sent. They've applied maybe through your website, maybe through your organic, maybe through a job board aggregator, and we're just deciding what to do next. So it's just a nice holding pen for a candidate. Again, you've still got your red, amber, and green. So what do I need to do next? I've got 17 candidates in here pending action. I need to decide what to do with them. I can't just leave them there. I need to decide whether to reject them or move them into a shortlist, send them to my client, etc., etc. So there's not really much more to say about it from my side. I don't think it's just a very simple feature, but it just makes logical sense when you're doing recruitment to have that chevron.
Yeah, you can also add candidates into applications. So it's not always the candidate applying. Let's say you've got resources who are using the database to run searches. Instead of adding them into the shortlist, they can add them into the application as the first step for the consultants to pick up and qualify them. So as Matt said, it's that little holding pen for you to put those candidates in to run your quality checks and make sure if you want to progress them or reject them.
Absolutely. And remember, guys, you can also use this with substatuses. So they're not redundant now. Still come in here. You can still configure these. You can color code them. As you can see here, we've got loads of different ones here. So feel free to take some inspo from them. And then you just get another, essentially allows you to have a little bit of an extra status, even though they're in the application chevron. So that's that one.
Yeah, let us know how you're going to. I mean, we've been rabbiting on for a long time, so let's absolutely power through. But just in terms of the applications piece, I know a lot of you are waiting for it and you're excited. So let us know how you get on with it, and any feedback, we would be absolutely thrilled to receive it. So let's move on to another big re-architecture of the system, which is the quick adding of jobs. Again, this was something that was heavily requested globally, and it has been rolled out now. So we know that the information that you require to upload a job into the system can be very different amongst businesses, but also within the business, very different amongst the job type. So from now, what you can do is actually configure information that is required, whether it's a perm job, a retained job, a contract, whatever it looks like for you, you can configure a matrix of information based on that role. So it's going to make your consultants' lives easier because they don't have to skip information that isn't relevant to them. It's going to make your life easier because you can dictate the information that is required per job type, as you can see by mandatory fields as well, which is a big thing. It's just streamlining that page and making sure that once you're adding a job in, you've got all the required information that you need.
Absolutely. And again, one part of what Amy just mentioned here to emphasize, and I'll show you where you can do this inside of the field configuration, is that quick add job isn't just configured for your company, it's configured for your company per job type, which is so powerful, right? We're essentially creating mini Vinceres within Vincere. And again, super easy, guys. All you do, go to settings, left-hand corner, into field config.
Yeah. So what we've done is make it as simple drag and drop as possible. You don't need to be able to code to be able to do it. So all you need to do is be able to type the types of code that you want and drag and drop it in.
Super easy. So at the top is where you choose the job type. As Amy mentioned, literally drag and drop it, build what you want, make them mandatory, happy days, hit save, and then you're done. So we'll kind of touch on this later in the session with roadmap, but we're building this look and feel for the rest of Vincere. So we are building Vincere into a system where it allows you to break it up per job type, per brand, per team. So, if you've got 100 or if you've got 20 or if you've got 500 recruiters, Vincere will be different for each of those users. So again, it makes it more easy and intuitive to use.
Yeah.
Really like that. So if you haven't configured it, make sure you do, because it's awesome.
Yes, do it. Make your consultants' lives easier. So let's quickly jump into the talent pools and the distribution list. Again, small.
Yes.
What was your phrase? Small something, big impact?
Small update, big impact. Yeah,
there we go. Thank you. So from here, what you're able to do, obviously we've got the public and the private talent pools, but now you're able to edit on those as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the benefit of this, again, this is for any super users on the call right now. This feature was asked for such a long time. Previously, if somebody left the business or changed team, it was just a nightmare to try and reassign that talent pool to somebody. You have to get their login details, log in, do a load of faffing around, which if you've got quite a few people, that's a whole day. That's a whole day's work, right? So we've listened and we've made some refinements. And again, if you have got the case where, let's say, Christy, the product director, she owns this talent pool and she changes team for whatever reason, we need to, reassign that to, say, Amy. All I have to do as a super user is go into settings, go into user management. I can then go into the owner of that talent pool or distributionist as well. I can check the box against that user and then reallocate the entity pool. And then from here, I can see all of her distributionists and talent pools, and then very quickly, either in bulk, if she's like changed team, or maybe just one or two, and I can then reallocate that to somebody else in the business. So really, really simple, really easy to use. Again, a very relatively small feature, although it took a long time to build and a lot of dev work, but a lifesaver on a day-to-day when you're dealing with a lot of team changes, which is awesome. The next thing up as well, which I actually missed when we were inside the contacts view, but we can show it in contacts and candidates, is we've also added the ability to add bulk files. So again, previously, I just go into, what was my contact called, Amy? Was he called, do you remember his surname? Put you on the spot right now.
Ben
If not, I'll find him.
Rankin, I think it was.
Ben Rankin?
Yeah.
That was a great little test. But essentially from the quick view, we've got the files tab here and you can bulk upload. So any file you've got, you can just simply go to this button here, view files, you can drag and drop, or you can click to upload, and then essentially all the files you need, like so, you can stick them in there. I'm showing this first on contacts to show you how easy that is to do from within the files tab from quick view. Super speedy, super simple. For candidates, you can also do this. You can do bulk upload files, which is probably more relevant, to be honest, with like various compliance docs and bits like that. Currently, it's not from the quick view, but that's coming. So 100%, you'll be able to have the same look and feel for candidates. But currently, you just click into the profile. And over to you, Amy, to explain how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a few things happening in the candidate update. So if I jump into the files here, again, you can see I've already got quite a long list of files, but upload, select files, and Matt will select the ones that he wants to upload. So we're doing all 4 here and open. And what you've got is obviously, firstly, you've got all 4 documents have been uploaded. We've also extended the file types that we support. So that's a great update too. From here, we've got the document types, and then you can determine the type of document it is. So background check, I want to tag correctly, driver's license, CV, resume, etc., etc. Now, as you can see, a little update that we've added in is expiry dates. Now, this is huge for compliance management. This, again, seems like a little update, but the domino effect of having mandatory expiry dates is huge, which we'll come on to in a second. But it means that your consultants or whoever will not be able to upload these documents without putting in an expiry date if it's required. Not everything is required. Obviously, a CV doesn't have an expiry date, but those compliance documents will. So you can upload, you can also, if it is a newer CV, auto tag it as the latest CV. If you've made a mistake, you can delete from here as well. So it's a very user-friendly tool to upload those documents inside the system. Again, they'll just drop in from here. And if I scroll down, you can see the expiry dates have been added in, which ones have been mandatory. But then in addition to that, if an expiry date has passed, you can see now that it's gone into red. So it's very visible that document is no longer compliant because it's, past its expiry date.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very key feature right there. The second part to that as well, we had quite a large update around 2 or 3 weeks ago in terms of the compliance and the document completeness inside the progress bars. So as Amy mentioned, we've got a document here that's expired a couple of weeks ago. If I now go into the kind of main table view here, again, I've got a smart view set for compliance. So straight away, I can see who's compliant and who's not compliant. If we just look back at Gwen, we'll see here requested documents. She has submitted 2 of 9 and we've verified 2 of 7. What you'll actually see in here is one of those documents has actually expired. So the document that's expired will actually disappear from this view, from the 2 of 9. So if I just show you what I mean by that, if we look down this one here, so that's actually expired. Let's imagine I change the date now and that document's been expired, we've had that verified again. If you just look at what happens, so if I click back into Gwen Stefani, remember that's 2 of 9 and 2 of 7. If I click back into Gwen, I navigate to the Files tab, so this one down here, and then I go through, let's imagine we've done the check, we've got that document ready to go again, I just change that to in the future. Again, that now changes from red to blue, so that's now a verified, non-expired document. I go back into Vincere, into the table view, search for Gwen, and then as you'll notice, that's now gone to 3 of 9, like so, okay? And then all the information is there. So that's now updating in real time, whereas previously the dates didn't really do anything. They were there for like, hey, I'm expired, but doesn't actually...
It was a lot of human error that could happen. So as you can see, you still hold the expired document. It's not being removed, but it doesn't count towards compliance if it's expired. So it's just going to make life a lot easier because even though you had the document, it's no longer valid for you. So that will be a big win for your compliance team because it's not something they're going to have to track manually. The system will do it for them and take that manual intervention off their plate and give them time back in their day.
Absolutely. Very, very key update for compliance
While
teams.
we're here, please open Gwen's quick view for me because again, another little update, which is one of those hidden in plain sight buttons, but is going to be a huge win for you, is the being able to see a CV, take notes, but the extension that we've done to that now. So if I'm on the phone to Gwen and I want to make some notes about the phone call, as you can see, this little slide out comes through from here. Before, it was a very static view. You could see the CV and that was it. What we've done now is take that ability and extend it. So now I can see Gwen's full profile whilst making my notes. So I could go into her experience, I could go into her details, I could go through the activities all whilst I'm taking my notes inside the system. So just the flexibility that you've got now whilst taking notes on the phone with that candidate is just going to make life a lot easier for you.
Absolutely. And don't forget as well, guys, hopefully most of our customers are using this Chrome extension. If you want like templated notes and if I'm looking at this now, it's a blank canvas. I'm not really too sure what to write in the right format. What you can do / and then a command. So for example, let's do something like pre-reg, / pre-reg, like so. And it automatically pulls up, for example, things like dates, key details, location, any other business next steps. It just prompts me as a consultant, so I kind of have a template for my notes, which is something I personally really like when I'm writing notes, not like you and me, but just so I know kind of what to write and follow a format. Text Blaze is a Chrome extension, so it's nothing actually to do with Vincere. It's a Chrome extension, which is completely free of charge, and you can create various different commands in here. So again, you can do things like, what else have we got? I think I've got intro in there, which again is just like, hey, nice to meet you. My name's Matt. Here's my calendar link. Book in with me. You can do what do you use it, Amy, or what do you use it for?
I use it for all the time, but the main use cases that my clients use it for is for reference checking, for
Yeah.
BD, for new client onboarding conversations, anything which is a uniformed amount of questions or the same types of emails or text that you're always writing. Just save yourself the time. Don't have to copy and paste it. Create the command in TextBlaze and start using it. They're great. I mean, the amount of times I've recommended them to people who've used it and loved it.
We should be on
Can't
commission,
recommend
shouldn't we? I
enough,
feel like.
honestly.
But guys, that is completely free. We'll drop the link in the chat now so you can click and download it afterwards. But definitely start using that and share that with your team. A nice little feature. While we're here, one again small one, which I want to show you where to set the permission up. While we're on compliance, is this compliance note. So, for example, this is a new feature on Vincere. You've got a compliance note here. We actually have added a couple of weeks ago the ability to edit the permission. So, as a consultant, am I allowed to edit this compliance note? Yes or no? Or is that just for the compliance team or managers, whoever it may be? As you can see, Amy hasn't given me the permission, annoyingly, so I'm not allowed to edit those notes.
Don't trust you.
But if I want to go and do that, what I can do as a super user, what Amy can do as a super user, is she can go into settings in the bottom left-hand corner. She can go into user management. She can go into my profile. And then into permissions tab. And again, there's various bits in here, but the permission we are focusing on today is this one here. So edit compliance note field, hit save, and that's done. So now I'll show you on the front end as a user, I can go into Gwen's quick view. Again, doesn't have to be the long view. It can if you need, but I can go into the quick view, go into the compliance notes, and then you'll see I've got a little pencil there now. So I now have the editing rights to be able to edit that field. Again, a very, very small feature, but very, very useful, right? If you've got large teams where you don't want compliance notes being changed all the time.
And having it front and center on the candidate quick view is very handy to manage. You don't have to go looking for information.
Absolutely.
Well,
time-wise, I think we've probably got about 10 minutes or so left. Should we jump into placements and then should we go into the roadmap?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a few things in placements to jump into. So if you find one for me, and again, I think the majority of this in the placements has come from client feedback. So thank you very much for that. First things first is the placement activities. So before you make updates, audits, whatever it is to a placement, and it just sort of happened. But now what we've done is, as you can see, top left-hand corner, we've added in a activities tab. So you've got a full audit log for any activity that is happening against that placement. So it's going to make your life quite a lot easier, being able to see information that has been updated. Again, you've got the kind of Vincere kind of sizzle on top where you've got your filters and your search on top of that as well. So that's going to make your life easier looking for anything that's happened on a placement and making sure that, you know, everything is hunky-dory. So that's number one. Number two is the client sending client bookings for past placements, unless I've missed something in here. Yeah, so you've got your sending your client bookings, but now that is kind of enhanced for you as well. So you can do it for past placements, not just concurrent ones. Have I missed anything else in here? I feel like
just to add on
the
that
clock
one.
is rushing me.
The pressure's too much.
There's too much. Yeah.
No, but again, that send client booking, and that was requested for a long, long time. The ability, if you did want to send a booking, let's say you had someone that was placed, it may be finished, but the client still wanted that booking for compliance for audit purposes, you can do it whenever you want. So there's no limit now, whereas before you had to only do it in offered. So now you can do it at any point. One thing to add on the activities table that Amy mentioned, you've also got the latest comment front and center as well. So when you land on a profile, you don't have to go into activities to look at them. The latest comment will always be there. And then you can get to it by clicking view all, or you can get to it by clicking activities as well. One little tip, because this is, and we'll take this feedback on board moving forward, because this has been catching me out a few times. If you want to get back to where you were at the placement, you can press the details tab here. So that's now exactly where I am. If you want to get back to the table view, so see all the placements, it's the X up here. So again, the X takes you back to the table view. the details tab takes you back to the details tab. I don't really know how to say that. Where all the information,
Yeah, the
sitting.
main page.
Yeah.
What we've also added in onto the placement is a new field for placement owner as well.
Yes.
So you've got job owner, candidate owner, placement owner. That was really important for us to roll out for you, because we know that not always the person that adds the job onto the system is the person that is placing the role and the revenue being accounted to them. So we've got that additional data field, which falls into analytics as well. So you can make sure that the person who has made the placement is being rewarded for the placement. So again, a very small thing, big impact for you, especially in your reporting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then the final one, I guess, is also the ability to undo placements. So again, if you do want to undo a placement, for whatever reason, you might have made a mistake, it might be an admin error, it might be that they've decided to pull out, you can actually undo that. So you can just go into the profile, check the box, and then undo that placement like so. So that's a nice and easy one. Again, it sounds really simple saying out loud, but again, previously the workaround you had to use was crazy. So if you do need to undo, you can in Vinny. Anything to add for that one, Amy?
No, I think that is all. All I would say is make a decision internally on what you use the undo placement for against what you use the cancel placement for. Just business process for your consultants, which button and which action is the right one for which use case. So just think about that and roll that out amongst yourselves, I guess.
Absolutely. And then the final bit of Vincere, or the key Vincere update, is actually, again, a feature that was asked for a long, long time. Is inside the intelligence dashboard, inside the goals dashboard, we now have the ability to filter on a daily view. Previously, it was like today, this week, this month. It was a bit weird, really. So yesterday, which is fine if you're just looking quickly. If you want to start doing comparisons and compare and look at a particular date, maybe like Tuesday to Wednesday or Tuesday to Thursday, you now can. So you can go into the goals dashboard, you can choose daily, and then you just choose a day. So you just choose any date range you want here. You come up with a calendar, and then that's happy days. And then hit filter, and that'll filter by that particular date range for you. Again, we're bringing this date filter into the rest of the dashboards over the coming months. So do let us know your feedback and what you think of that feature. I think they're the main bits. There's obviously way more, and we've shown that on the previous slide. And we'll add some links and some release notes to the chat on the right hand side. But I think, Amy, should we jump into what's coming?
Or have I missed anything? I think we should, because I mean, we could spend hours talking about what we've been doing for the last 6 to 9 months. And I think we've already gone way over our 30-minute limit. So thanks, guys, for sticking with us. But let's go through what is coming. Hopefully we haven't bored you to tears and you're not falling asleep at your computer. But what we've got coming is really important as well, and really exciting. And the team are very busy, and I'm very excited for it to get rolled out.
My PowerPoint was having a meltdown then, so thanks for carrying that. But let's crack on. It's also taken me to the beginning, which is, so here we are again, guys. You know us by now. Let's skip through these ones. Right, so where are we? We are in what's coming in Vinny. So we are going to talk about the roadmap for the next 6 to 9 months. I think we're not talking years into the future. We're literally talking a couple of months, 6 to 9 months, and there's some really good things coming. Before we get into the medium-term roadmap, though, the 6 to 9 months, we've also got something coming on this 4th of November. So around a week, just over a week or so. And that's double trouble with your double book staff.
Yes,
what tongue twister that is.
I know there's definitely something that we can streamline with that, but for anyone who uses the scheduler or who runs a temp team, this is just going to be fantastic for you. It's going to give you such peace of mind that if you are placing somebody in a shift or in a job, if they are placed elsewhere, or if they've got a shift over a time period, it's going to give you a warning. Prior to this, you'd have to kind of be aware of it. And I know a lot of people have their spreadsheets, which I'm trying to get rid of and get them using the system, but you've just got this error now, this warning that comes up, just letting you know that that person is booked elsewhere over a certain time period. It's not going to stop you from placing them should you need to. We know there's exceptions to the rule. We know that people work double places for double companies. That's fine, but it's just giving you that visibility, that information to show you that what that person's schedule looks like. So that is coming very soon. So watch out for that if you're using the scheduler or you run a temp desk, because it's going to be great.
Very excited about that one. And we've already kind of given a sneak peek of this to a lot of our kind of high volume temp customers, and they can't wait. It's going to be a really, really nice feature for usability in the platform. Also, with that feature, release notes to follow. We'll send helps and to guide. We'll send all the articles. There's no setup needed, but we will make sure we keep you in the loop. In terms of then the kind of more short to medium term roadmap, we've actually split this up into two themes. We've got creating efficiencies and we've got refactoring and platform consistency. I'm just going to run through these quite quickly now, not going to go into a huge amount of detail. But if we just start with creating efficiencies, so what we're going to be bringing in, guys, in the next couple of months is bulk actions. Bulk actions for tagging skills, tagging industries, functional expertise. Those really painful tasks where you have to do it individually and it's slow, we're bringing in bulk actions to make Vincere easier to use and faster to keep your candidates skilled. And we're also bringing in ascend multiple jobs to candidates, which actually I saw this in test last week. It's quite snazzy, actually. It's cool. It's like the live list that you have for your clients, but it's actually for candidates. So you can send a list out, a list of jobs out to candidates, and they can choose what candidates they're interested in. They can approve them. They can message you. It's cool. It's a very, very cool feature. We're also adding the ability to edit comment, but one step further than that, and also an audit change log. So it's not just edit a comment, change what's happened in the past, and then everyone starts arguing because things have been changed. It's edit a comment because a mistake was made, and an audit change log, which again, Amy, as you mentioned, super important for compliance, right?
Yeah, and I think I've had, over the last 6 years I've been here, this is probably the most requested. After applications, it's been this one. And we had to get it right because it's your data, it's your system of truth. So again, thank you for being patient with us, but it's coming, it's so close, and it's going to be incredible.
Absolutely. We kind of already mentioned this earlier, but we've got the CRM ATS improvement. So again, this is automating workflows and allowing configurable chevrons. I've put here big. This is really big because again, what Amy mentioned earlier with the quick add job, where you configure that per job type, we're going to actually be allowing you to configure your chevrons, i.e. application, shortlisted, sent, first interview, but per brand and job type. I.e. Vincere will look completely different if you're on a temp desk, if you're in a different brand, if you're exec search, if you're temp, if you're contract. Recruitment doesn't follow that standardized approach. So we're giving you the ability to configure those chevrons for the type of recruitment you do, which will be absolutely huge when we release that feature. We're also doing some improvements to job leads. Again, job leads is a feature that customers really, really like. We're making it more visible in the platform in more places. It's kind of separated on its own now, but really it should be a natural flow into a job. So we've got some big updates coming to that. And we're also releasing a scheduler one-to-one view, which again, essentially, in its simplest form, we're making it look like an Excel spreadsheet inside Vincere, because we know you love the Excel spreadsheets. We know that's how you work. Why reinvent the wheel? So that will be, we're not replacing the scheduler, we're just adding a new view, and that view will essentially look like an Excel spreadsheet, which is exactly what customers want. So we're going to build that, and that will be coming in the next kind of 6 to 9 months. We've got some AI bits coming in as well. So we've got Access Copilot, which we will send more information over the coming months and the coming weeks and coming months. We've got loads of new marketplace partners. So if you haven't already seen that, head into Marketplace, and we'll put some links on the chat now. We've got some really good partners that we've launched recently, so check those out. We're also adding company talent pools. So the same as you've got distribution lists for contacts and candidates, companies as well, and also company radius search. The idea of that is if you've got a candidate, you can do a radius search on the candidate for the company and say which companies are near where the candidate lives and things like that. So that's quite cool. So that's the kind of efficiencies. And then the right-hand side is just the refactoring, the platform consistency. That's the invisible things behind the scenes, which have massive impact on your day-to-day use of Vincere. So that's things like real-time email sync is coming in the future. More columns being added to tables. People request things like contact source and things like that. We're adding all those over the coming months. And more wildcards being added to email templates as well. We're actually refactoring the whole way we do wildcards. Just for some intel for you guys on the call. Although it may seem easy to add a new wildcard, it's actually really, really hard because of the architecture it's built on. So when we add a new wildcard, you have to add it to every individual email template each time. And there's like 150 templates. So actually it takes a developer about 2 months to add one wildcard. So again, we're changing that. So we're changing the refactoring the architecture. So when we add one wildcard, it adds it to every email template in a few hours. So you'll start seeing more wildcards over the coming months. Brand new candidate and job profile, same as contacts and companies that we showed earlier in the session. So that will be coming in the future. Please do not worry. It will look exactly the same as contacts and companies. Configurable quick add for candidate, contact, company, similar to what Amy demonstrated for jobs. Improving brand segmentation, making that, I mean, it's good now, it works very, very well, but making that even better. And then as I mentioned throughout, tech debt, improving the platform, architecture, speed, reliability, intuitivity, making Vincere the platform that you love to use and you want to use it every day. Again, it's not necessarily big bang feature, although there are quite a lot of big bang features here. It's just making the refinement, the day-to-day easier to use. I can breathe. There's a lot coming, right, Amy? In 6 to 9 months, we're very busy building away.
We're going to be very busy.
Yeah. Other things coming from the product team, guys, not necessarily in the platform, not necessarily clicks. There's 4 kind of key projects we're working on by the end of the year. And this is an upgraded feature portal. So we want to hear from you. We want to hear your ideas. We want to listen to you. Pretty much all of this session, all the things we've built is from your ideas, right? And that's the journey we're on now. Okay, so we're going to be listening to you. We're going to be seeing what you want. We want to see who's voting for ideas. We want to see what the market's telling us. So we are going to upgrade a brand new feature portal because we have it now, but it's a bit clicky. There's a form to fill in. You can't really see things properly. So that's going to be completely redone. We're also going to launch an in-app training and onboarding program, which essentially will help with onboarding, help with refresher. Whenever we launch a new feature, it'll essentially allow you to click and there'll be like a guided tour. So you don't have to speak to Amy. You can just self learn. But then if you need to speak to a CSM, obviously you can, and we can go into more in-depth.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere. We're still here.
We're still here, don't worry, guys, but just for the real basics of the platform. We've got a VOC program. Any guesses, guys? What? Oh no, someone's changed my slide. That should say #VPP, not VLY.
I was going to say, I was like, I swear I learned this. And then you've pulled the rug from under me.
Do you remember what it was? VPP.
Vinny product people? Vinny
Product Pioneers. No, you're just getting it wrong. Vinny Product Pioneers. And this essentially is going to be our Voice of the Customer program, where we're going to select probably around 15 to 20 or so clients from around the world. And that's where we will have beta customers. You'll have a direct line to the product team. You'll be able to give us feedback. You'll be able to test for us. So it's really a two-way partnership. So stay tuned for that. If you're interested in joining that, do let us know in the chat, and I'll reach out. And then finally, webinar program, just like this one today. We're going to do way more updates from the product team, from our CSMs, just on what we're working on. You know, it's really important we partner with you guys, and you can see we're not just sat here, just chatting all the time. We're building some really good stuff, and sometimes it takes time. But over the next few months, you'll start to see these dropping on a weekly, monthly, and a quarterly basis.
So we'll make sure we chat. We won't wait 6 months, and we will do it in the 30 minutes that we said that we would do it in.
Absolutely. Yeah, this has been a
big
long
agenda
webinar.
to get through today.
Hopefully people are still here because we've been talking for a long time. But again, guys, hopefully it's been useful. This is the first one we've done for a while, which is why it's gone over. But as Amy mentioned, we won't have 6 months of the stuff. We'll just have like a couple of weeks, right? So it'll be short and sharp. And I think that's it from us, really. Any questions, guys, let us know. Amy, anything you want to finish on?
All I would say is, as you can see, a lot of these updates have come from you guys. So we really appreciate your feedback, and send it through. We'll send through what the new portal looks like and what that process will be like for you. But it matters and it's important, and we take it on board. And as you can see, we've released it. So do be vocal. We love working with you and putting your kind of plans into the system. So keep working with us like that.
Absolutely. Guys, we're here for you. So we are here. So we've got a really great support team, a couple of minutes for the first response time. That's using the live chatbot inside the platform, implementation, customer success, account management. But don't struggle in silence. If you are struggling, you want to speak to somebody, you've got some really good feedback, you've got an issue, reach out to us, and one of the team will jump on a call. We'll sort out the issue. Or maybe you just want some training. Maybe you just, all this stuff looks great, but you're like, you know what, we're only using 30% of Vincere we've got. We want to, we want to use 100% of it. Reach out to your CSM, reach out to your account manager, and we'll get something in the diary and
Yeah.
make sure you're
It's great to have
unlocking the full
a
power of Vinny.
second pair of eyes just to see
Yeah.
what you're doing and how you can improve it. As I said, like, what's it, 167 features in 6 months? There's a lot to take on board. So let us help you and take you through what's going to work best for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, guys, thank you so much for joining. Anyone that stayed right till the end, you get you deserve a Vinny brownie or something. We'll send that in the post. But hopefully it's been useful. And look, we'll do more of these. So please let us know in the chat the feedback. It'll pop up in a second and ask your feedback. Something that you might already know, you might have known this stuff, but it was a recap of the past 6 months. So that's probably why. Moving forward, it'll be brand new stuff that's coming from product. And yeah, let us know. Give us a like on LinkedIn. Let us know your feedback, and we'll speak to you very, very soon.
Mr. Socials.
And Amy, great to be back. Great to be reunited in the dream
team.
Good
to have you back.
Thanks, guys. Have a good rest of the day, and we'll speak to you very, very soon.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
See you later.
See you.
Bye. Bye.